Hi, this is Jeannie with Creative Ectothermic Solutions. You can find us online at CEctoS.com or at bugblog.org. Today we are going to set up a habitat for an Asian forest scorpion. I have done a previous video on an Asian forest scorpion, but I can repeat myself a little bit and then we will set up his habitat. This right here is my Asian forest scorpion. As you can see, he is a delightful little invertebrate. They look like they're pure evil and they're big black tanks, but they're actually very friendly and easy to get along with. They just like to be warm, they like to be safe, and as long as you keep them feeling warm and safe, they are very easy to get along with. There are 33 known species of Asian forest scorpion, and I am not sure which this one is. I am not an expert at identifying Asian forest scorpions. So, okay, Asian forest scorpions are sometimes not mistaken for, but misidentified as emperor scorpions. These are not emperor scorpions. Emperor scorpions come from Africa. These guys come from the rainforests of India, Indonesia, and Malaysia. And so the emperor scorpion has bigger claws that look really lobster-like, and their claws are textured, almost like little tiny pebble textures, like an old-fashioned ceiling. Asian forest scorpions have black stingers. Emperor scorpions have either red or white stingers. And Asian forest scorpions are not quite as shiny as emperors. Emperors are shinier. So if you get a scorpion, you're not sure what it is, the easiest way to tell is the claws and the stinger. If the claws are textured, I mean, this guy has pretty little claws. So I'm going to bring him closer so you can see his claws. His claws are pretty smooth, and his stinger is most definitely black. So if you aren't sure whether the claws are smooth or textured, look at the stinger. The stinger on an Asian forest scorpion is always black. They like their temperatures between 70 and 90 degrees. As a general rule, if you're comfortable, they're comfortable. It may get really hot in the rainforests where they live, but during the day, when the heat is up, when the sun is out, when the forest is baking, these guys are going to be underground in their homes where it's nice and cool. So even though these guys like it, or they live in an area where the temperature is very hot, they like a more moderate temperature. You would find them burrowed deep in the ground. You would find them under fallen trees, inside banks, things like this. They would find nice places with an even temperature during the day so that they can stay cool and comfortable. Come on, little guy. You need to be a superstar. You need to come back over here. So these guys can be communal if you give them enough space, but they need a really big space. And the problem with breeding them is, like I said, there are 33 known species. You have to be pretty sure you have two of the same species. These guys don't really sting. They're way more likely to pinch you. This scorpion is very comfortable. His tail is all the way down. He's not threatening me. He's not trying to pinch me. He's just wandering about. He's a little cool and I'm warm, so he likes to chill out on me. He feels safe. I can shield him, and he will he'll hide down underneath my hand. Their humidity, they like their humidity to be very high, around 80%. It's important for these guys to maintain a high humidity, but you don't have to spray their habitat 10 times a day or use a fogger to keep the humidity up. The way to keep the humidity up is to use sphagnum moss inside their hide, so that just like in the rainforests, when they want to be cool and damp, they can go inside their hide where the humidity is very high, and they can be there. They can choose where to go. Black lights are really cool when it comes to scorpions, because scorpions glow green under black light, but the black light is very bad for your scorpion. There's something in the black light that causes their chitin, which is the covering, their exoskeleton. It causes their chitin to break down and go soft, and if your scorpion ends up with a soft exoskeleton, it will just die. So if you lose your scorpion, use your black light to look under the bed and other places where scorpions might hide. But if If you can't, if you don't leave a black light on them all the time, it's it's not good for them at all. I am going to set this scorpion up in a tank that's going to be bioactive. I'm going to add both dwarf white isopods and springtails. So I am going to do that right now if I can get this scorpion to cooperate. He wants to hang out with me, which I don't blame him, you know, because it's so much fun. So I'm going to put him in this clamshell deli container for the next few minutes while we set his habitat up. If you've watched any of my other videos, I mended this tank earlier. It may look like it's cracked, and it is indeed cracked, but it is covered with hot glue so the tank will hold water, and it is perfectly safe for the scorpion won't hurt itself. So because this is an Asian forest scorpion, it's a tropical scorpion that likes really high humidity, we're going to add a lot of cocoa fiber, and we're going to add, which also has peat moss in it. So this is our first step. We're going to add substrate, and we're going to make it pretty deep because they like to burrow. We're going to add a little bit of sand after we get the substrate in, because the sand helps this pack down better so that the scorpion actually can burrow. And we're going to set up a hide for it so that it should be okay. I'm going to add a little sand. And like I said, the sand just makes it so that it's much easier. This packs down better. It's kind of like having sand on the baseball field. So we just have a little bit of sand in here so it'll pack down, so if the scorpion chooses to burrow, it can burrow. I have several different types of hides that we can try. I have a big piece of cork bark here. It's just an uneven, odd piece. And I could put it down here, and if I put it down here, I could put the sphagnum moss in here, and the scorpion should hide back behind here where it'll be visible all the time, which is really kind of cool. This is a plastic fake log hide. The scorpion would be very happy to go in here. I don't really like them. I like the natural things better, but I mean, it's not what I like, it's what the scorpion likes. I have a coconut hide here. The scorpion will certainly use a coconut hide. But one of my favorite hides to make for scorpions, for these Asian forest scorpions, is a rock hide. The rock hide is dual purpose, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to put some rocks in here, right here. I'm going to burrow this part out right here for the scorpion, and I'm going to put my rocks in slightly the wrong place, and I am going to put this down on top. And what this is going to do is it should be nice and firm in here. And let me pull my burrow out. Once again, I've put it next to the glass, so hopefully the scorpion will come down in here and hang out in this burrow, and you'll still be able to see him. And if you look at the top of this hide, it's this side that's being this corner that's being a problem. So I'm going to change my plans a little bit. Okay, that should work much better. So the cool thing about this rock is if you look on the top, it has natural dips and divots. This is a glacial rock. I picked it up at Lake Huron. So the scorpion can go underneath here, and we can put water on the top, and it can have water in these little dips and divots. Now we want to keep it so that our Asian forest scorpion will have a high humidity. So I'm going to dig a whole lot of the substrate out of here, and I'm going to add sphagnum moss, because the sphagnum moss will keep the humidity up. We'll just have to take the rock off sometimes and spray it down really, really well so it stays hydrated. And we want to use these little dips and divots as a water feature, so that your scorpion can drink its water in a very natural way. We're also going to add some sphagnum moss here and there. You know, there's no reason this can't really look pretty because the scorpion's going to be in it. I mean, I think everything should look pretty and be awesome. I have some plants here that go really, really well in containers. I don't know whether or not he'll be offended by the plant, but if he is, I mean, the worst thing he's going to do is dig it up. This plant will grow and kind of cover the surface. This is called a turtle plant, or a turtle vine. It's a type of dwarf wandering Jew. I think it's called Callius reopens, or C reopens. We can just forget about the first part. So we have added, we've added some sphagnum moss here and there. There's lots of sphagnum moss down in the hide. We've added a plant which will grow. You know, these grow really, really fast. One of their other names is an inch plant because it supposedly will grow an inch a day, but I don't know about that. I mean, it does that in Florida, not here in Maryland, so I wouldn't count on it. I'm also going to add a little bit of detritus, which is, you know, some cocoa husk, some dried leaves, things like that, which will, you know, it'll give the scorpion a place to hide. And because I want this to be a bioactive enclosure, I'm going to add springtails. Oh my goodness, I have a really good culture of springtails here. So I'm not even going to use them all because this is a relatively small. I don't know if you can see the springtails. It is absolutely hopping with springtails, which is a good thing. So I'm going to, you know, just sort of knock the top layer of springtails off in here, and they will go about their business doing springtail things. They will eat scorpion poop and old dead cricket parts, and they will just thrive and make more springtails. If you see little tiny mites in my enclosures, they are not dangerous mites. Springtails are indeed mites, but they're not dangerous. The other thing I'm going to add in here is some dwarf white isopods. Springtails and dwarf white isopods are a perfect cleanup crew. Dwarf whites are subterranean, little tiny isopods. I have a little handful of isopod. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they're just the little tiny white things that are walking around. These are dwarf white isopods. I'm going to add them in here. And so I have a cleanup crew. I have dwarf white isopods, and I have springtails to go with my scorpion. We now have a bird's eye view of our little habitat that's set up. I can zoom it in, and you should be able to see the springtails, or not the springtails. You might be able to see the springtails, but here are my dwarf white isopods. See this dwarf white isopod? There it is. They're moving around, looking for some detritus to eat. We have springtails here, but the springtails have already gone down into the earth. A lot of people, they think their springtails have died, but what they've actually done is they've gone down into the dirt to do what they do best, which is hide until the next time they're needed, until they smell something delicious. They like to be in water, so that's a life of a springtail. So I have our scorpion friend back out again. This is a little male scorpion. Whoops, and there he is. He is in his new habitat, and you notice the very first thing he does is he goes up underneath the rock, which is perfect. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's there to make him comfortable. It's there to hide him. So I'm going to be rude, and I'm going to take the rock off, and you can see he's sitting right there, chilling in his sphagnum moss. Actually, I'm not sure you can see him. Let's see if we can move this camera over just a little bit. There he is. There he is, sitting right there, chilling out in his sphagnum moss, doing his scorpion things. He's going to wander out, and I'm going to take the opportunity to put the rock back in place. And he is just looking awesome. Like I said, doing scorpion things. He's got lots of room. He can burrow in here. He can look around, see what there is to see. Maybe eat some dwarf white isopods if they don't hide fast enough. This is his plant, and if I aim him, he should go right back in his hide. He's like, "Why are you messing with me? Can't you see I'm looking around?" There you go, little guy. Go down in there. He says no. He's going to do what he's going to do. So this is Jeannie once again with Creative Ectothermic Solutions, CEctoS.com or bugblog.org. You can find us on Facebook at CEctoS, CEctoS. And if you like what we're doing, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your time, and you have a wonderful day.